All right, so we've got our domain. We've got it connected to the computer, so we've got our hosting. And we're using a super fast computer, so we know we've got the right engine for what we want to build. Now the next step in getting into the digital red zone, we got to create a website. So we need some web design. Now with web design, well, let's just take a look. If I Google plumber, Atlanta, Georgia, it's a subjective thing. We want your web design to look as much like you want it to look as possible. But there are some things that we need to have. And if we look at all these different websites, we're going to notice some things that are all similar, yet every website looks different. Think of it as architecture. If there was one building in your town that, because of the way it was designed, got the most business, every building in your town would look the same. And that would be the same with websites. So having it look the way you want is what we want to do. But we also want to meet some guidelines so that it shows up in the search engines and generates traffic. So yep, we want to have the graphic design. We want to use as many of your images as possible. We can create images for you. Not a problem. We want the user interface to be as easy for the user to use as possible. We want their experience to be easy and fast. Things have changed. Back in the beginnings of the internet, people surfed and clicked and browsed around. They don't do it anymore. They want what they are looking for right away, which is why you want these clickable phone numbers and certain things you know your customers are looking for right up here at the top. You may not like that from a design standpoint, but from a user experience standpoint, it's a must-have, and you'll see them over and over and over again. Some people want sliders and things on their website. That's fine. We can do it. If it's my preference, we'll never have a slider. Nobody slides through and takes the time to watch them. It's just kind of something that moves on the screen. If it's something you really think looks good, we do it. Some people like having a video right here, which is honestly more effective than a slider. The only problem is it can, in some instances, slow down the speed of which your website will initially load, and it harms your SEO. But there are ways around everything, and we want to make it look as much the way you do as possible, as long as we stick to our principles that allow us to get it ranked in the search engines. So we want to have engaging content, which we don't find much of, honestly. No, this actually has. This is why this is ranked on the top 5 of the search engines here, because it's got content that people are looking for. And we want your content to show off your authority, your expertise. We want to give information that's helpful to the person that is looking for the search query that takes them to that page. We want to obviously offer testimonials and examples and portfolios and test cases and those types of things, so people can see that you're the best at what you do. So the coding that makes your website, that's everything. And there are a lot of free website builders and easy website builders. They just aren't going to get us the end result, which is making you money. They're very hard to get ranked, which is why we recommend WordPress. If you're doing it yourself, I still recommend WordPress. Stay away from these cloud-based website builders that will give you an image that looks good. The problem is that image is used on 10,000 other websites. It's not unique to you, and the coding of it is improper, and it's going to harm the ability for you to show up in the search engines, generate that traffic that makes you money. So WordPress is the thing. It really is easy, user friendly. Certain themes are better than others with regards to page load speed. You can Google it and find out. We obviously have done our research and use the back end theme code and then customize it to your particular needs. WordPress is as cheap as it gets. You got your host, you got your domain. The WordPress platform itself is free. Understanding how to use it, that's where it gets more expensive. And there's certain software plugins that we use to maximize its potential that do cost money, and you'll have to get those as well. If we're managing all this for you, it's all included in the price. So there's no upcharge. We don't nickel and dime our clients. It's open source and has a huge community. Anytime you're using technology, you want to find things that are open source and have a huge community. That means if you have a problem, you can find the answer, because the odds are somebody's already had the problem, and then you can search and do your research and find the answer quickly and get it taken care of. WordPress can be made very SEO friendly versus the other platforms, and that is its major advantage. One of the disadvantages is because it's got so many options and things and plugins, and it does need to be updated, but we handle that for you as well, which we'll get into when we go over the website maintenance part of it. We want to design the website with search engine optimization in mind. All right, we want it to be visible. We want it to be shown when people are looking for what you do or what you sell or what you want to talk about. We want the website to be designed with credibility in mind, that you're the best at what you do. And we want to have things that back that up other places on the internet as well. Obviously, user experience is a must, and we want it to stay competitive. So we optimize it, obviously, but we then also track it, which we'll get into with the data tracking, to see where it shows up on any given day within a certain range, so that we can maximize your website's potential to generate clicks, which generates sales for you. SEO, organic search traffic, is in a sense free, yet you're paying to get it ranked, but it is far less expensive than running ads. And honestly, your organic traffic should be your number one source of traffic to the website, which we track. And then that massively increases the return on investment of any marketing campaign you're doing. If you're running ads on TV, if you're showing up in the organic, you're going to get more clicks, because they're going to see your ad, forget who you are, Google the product, like Plumber Atlanta, see you come up, instantly connect because they saw your ad, click, you get the sale. So it is the most important thing you can do in digital marketing, and it needs to be tracked, it needs to be maximized, and it's constantly changing. So it's not if somebody ever tries to sell you something where you can click a button and your website's optimized, they can't. Optimizing a website is versus the other players in the field. So every single keyword is different on every single website. It's based on who you're going against, up and beyond having the basic functions for the SEO in mind. So you can have all the basic things correct and still not show up because your competitors are doing things you're not. And we stay on top of that and manage it for you. So when we talk about web design, we want to talk about the looks and the aesthetics. That's great. It's my goal is to make it functional, to make the user find what they're looking for fast, and we want it to be visible in the search engines. That's number one. And we will design it with that in mind first, and then trickle down to the other things to make it look in the way you want. A lot of times people don't want just a couple words on a page, and that's just not going to get it done. We've got to have more information, or else it won't show up in the search engines. And it'll be basically a useless page in the eyes of the algorithms and harm your website. So we're very, very serious when it comes to making sure we maximize the visibility of a website in the search engines when designing a website. We want it to look the way you want as much as possible. We're going to have to both compromise to get it so that it's maximizing your return on investment. So with proper web design, with SEO in mind, you're going to be in the digital red zone.